The Duns of Al Andalus. Historical war. Southern Spain, 1492, during the fall of Granada and the end of Muslim rule in Al Andalus. The Duns of Al Andalus. Before the swords came, the city of Granada sang. Its palaces shimmered with carvings of verse and stars, its gardens bloomed with oranges and water channels that whispered like wine through lace. And high above it all stood the Alhambra, the last red fortress of the Moors. In the final days of Muslim Spain, when the banners of Castile and Aragon climbed the hills like a second sun, a young girl named Layla Alzara carried a secret beneath her cloak. Not a weapon, not a key, but a poem. And it was the last her city would ever write. The Scholar's Daughter. Layla was the daughter of Ahmad al-Zahra, court historian to the last Nasrid Sultan, Boabdil. She grew up among books instead of dolls, listening to scholars debate astronomy, medicine, and the Quran. At night, her father read her Andalusi poems by candlelight. Poetry is how the heart stays alive when walls fall, he would say. But by winter of 1491, the walls were cracking. The Christian armies had surrounded Granada for months. The city was starving. Hope grew thinner than parchment. And still, her father wrote. Every night. One final record. The fire beneath the fountain. One morning, Layla awoke to find her father's writing chamber cold and empty. No candle. No scent of ink. Only a note. They fear memory more than blade. I will hide the last poem beneath the city. Tell no one. He never returned. That night, soldiers raided the library. Books burned in the Plaza Nueva. Scrolls crumbled beneath armored boots. Layla watched from the shadows, a bundle clutched to her chest, the first lines of her father's final poem. She did not cry. Instead, she walked barefoot to the Alhambra's fountain court. And waited. The keeper in the dust. There, in the lion's court, an old gardener named Yusuf emerged from the fog. He had watered the orange trees since before Layla was born. They have taken the city, he said gently. But not the roots. Layla showed him the poem. He nodded slowly. Then we bury it where no sword can dig. Together, under the central marble fountain, they lifted a loose stone. Beneath it, a hollow chamber, once a secret water channel, still dry. She placed the parchment inside, wrapped in cloth soaked in rosewater. Yusuf sealed it with clay. And they said no more. The Fall of Granada. January 2nd, 1492. The flags of Castile and Aragon rose above the Alhambra. The Muslim Emirate of Granada, the last in Iberia, was no more. Boabdil, the last sultan, surrendered his city and wept as he crossed the mountain pass now called El Suspiro del Moro, the Moor's sigh. Layla stood on a balcony and watched the white cross flutter in the wind. She whispered her father's words. They fear memory more than blade. And then, she vanished. Exile in the hills. Layla lived the rest of her life in the Alpujarras Mountains, among other Moriscos, Muslims forced to convert or flee. She taught children how to read. She spoke of gardens with running water and palaces that breathed like song. But she never told anyone where the poem lay. Not even Yusuf, who passed quietly one spring beneath the almond blossoms. The hidden verse. Centuries passed. Granada changed hands, changed faith, changed tongue. The Alhambra became a tourist marvel. In 1922, during restoration work near the Lion Fountain, a small chamber was discovered beneath the basin. Inside, a scroll, wrapped in oilcloth and rose petals turned to dust. Experts at first dismissed it. But when they read the faded Arabic, something stirred. It was a poem. Untitled. But signed. Al-Zahra. It read, in part. Beneath the lion's still breath, we plant a garden of memory. When kingdoms sleep, let the ink remain. The Museum of Whispers. Today, in the Alhambra's inner chambers, a quiet room stands apart. No crowds. No photographs. Only a single parchment beneath glass. Beside it, a plaque reads, "This poem was never meant to be found. It was meant to outlive kings." And if you listen closely, you might hear the faint echo of Layla's voice, reciting her father's last words into the stones. When walls fall, let the heart write what the sword cannot erase.